Bonsoir a todo mundo e uma bem-vinda muito especial para a comunidade brasileira que hoje participa desse encontro, desse evento ótimo. My name is Gustavo Zentner. I'm the Honorary Consul of Brazil in Manitoba and the host of the virtual journey of Brazilian literature, music, and culture. I want to extend a special welcome to todos os brasileiros que nos estão acompanhando hoje da noite, all of our Brazilian community, not just in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, but in Brandon, in Flin Flon, in Winkler, in Morden, in Morris, Manitoba, and in many, many cities throughout Brazil, especially in Toronto, in Vancouver, and in Ottawa. This program is possible through the phenomenal support and contribution of the government of Manitoba. And I want to express my gratitude to Minister Cox, Sports, Culture, and Heritage, the Office of Protocol, and our Diplomatic Affairs Liaison Office as well. These are key organizations that help us engage with the community. And I don't want to forget to mention the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, the national organizations that makes possible trade, investment, and relations between our nations. I also want to highlight the Conselho de Cidadãos e Cidadania Brasileira em Winnipeg, o Conselho, e Brasil, the Brazilian Association of Manitoba, headquartered in Winnipeg. Before we start, I want to comment about the Honorary Brazilian Consulate and what is it that we do. We look after government relations, economic affairs, building trade and culture, promoting tourism, and of course, education. Some of the highlights of what we've done together with the Conselho de Cidadania and with Brazil include a sessão eleitoral 1402. We have been able to attain electorate 1402, for which all Brazilians in Manitoba were able to cast their votes to the last federal election. This was possible through our coordination with the Brazilian embassy, with the Brazilian embassy in Ottawa and the Consulate General of Brazil in Toronto. We take care of relationships with organizations such as the Winnipeg Police Services and RCMP and Border Crossing. We celebrate 7 de Setembro at Memorial Boulevard and at City Hall, for which I'd like to extend our gratitude to the Office of the Mayor and our relationship with the City Council. More importantly, we came together here tonight because the pandemic has certainly affected all of us from any personalities, from any family liaisons and affairs, and no matter where we are. It's not easy being away and removed from our families, from our friends. And this event helped us connect with our culture, with those that are close to us and those far away from us, from the safety of our home. But I cannot think of anyone more qualified to tell you about Brazil-Canada relations than the Ambassador of Brazil to Ottawa, Ambassador Pedro Borio. Ambassador, bem-vindo, welcome.
Very much, Gustavo. Boa noite a todos. Good evening. Bonsoir, au francophone. It's a great pleasure for me to be here tonight. I will be very brief because Friday night, music night, that will let the music speak, and I'm sure it's going to speak very loud about one of the most wonderful aspects we have of Brazil. Gustavo forgot to mention one thing that I'm very happy to mention, and I see that my colleague Wanja, Nobrega, the consul in Toronto, who is in charge more directly of Manitoba, together with the Honorary Consulate, is here with us. He forgot to say that the Honorary Consulate is a non-paid function, is a true friend of Brazil that helps us develop the relationship and does that because of friendship and close ties to us. So Gustavo, a big thank you to you and to your staff for this wonderful work you do. And the same goes for the members of the Brazilian the Citizens Council. And let me mention that we intend to organize very soon the first Canada-wide meeting of citizen councils so that the councils can exchange ideas and experiences, and we can identify better in terms of the whole country what are the questions faced by the Brazilians, how we can discuss the situation of the Brazilians with the Canadian government in a much better way. This is a kind of experience that has been done already in the United States, and we will replicate it here with a similar challenge, because Canada is a country that can only be compared to a few others, among them Brazil, in terms of the difficulty of the logistics of doing things in such an enormous territory. In this sense, I'm very happy to be part of this event today, because one thing that we learned with the pandemic is that we do not have to stop and stay home just because of the big crisis that hit us. The technology has allowed us to keep moving. And if, despite the frustration that it's not possible for us to travel and visit you and meet every one of you in person like we would like, but we can keep doing things. Last year was a very bizarre year. We spent a sizable part of the year taking care of emergencies, of helping our citizens that needed to go back to Brazil, or those who were stranded in Brazil come back to their homes in Canada. But fortunately, this was done successfully. Our ministry helped about 27,000 Brazilians all around the world. So the good thing is that we managed to keep business developing between Canada and Brazil, investment developing, and we hope to go back to a normal situation regarding the transit of students, family.
Thank you, Ambassador Borio. I appreciate the comments, and now on with the next part of the program. At this time, I want to acknowledge that amongst all of our participants, we have been able to secure amazing talent. Marco Castillo and Diego Costa are of Brazilian origin and contribute immensely to the promotion of Brazil through a rich conversation about music, culture, and the history of the Brazilian people. Later on, I'll be introducing more formally Consul General Wanja Nobrega and our Vice Consul Vanessa Stein, who will participate on the program and help us guide us through the journey. Tonight, I want to put the spotlight on Marco and Diego. The floor is yours. We're all here for you and looking forward to a lovely evening. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you, Gustavo. Good evening, everybody. I would like to thank you. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in the Treaty 1 territory land of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dini peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. So I would like to thank you, the Honorary Consul of Brazil, Gustavo Zentner, for the invitation, the Ambassador Pedro Enrique Lopes Borio, and Ambassador Wanja Nobrega, as well as Vice Consul, Honorary Consul Vanessa Stein, for the opportunity. And I'm pleased to have Diego Costa playing with me. I would like him to introduce himself first.
Yeah, thank you, Marcos, for inviting me. It's really great opportunity to be here, with you. And I'm really lucky, I came to Canada about 3 years ago, and my first piano lesson, my teacher said, hey, there is this guy here, Brazilian guy, I'm sure that you're going to be, really glad to meet him. And he was talking about Marco, Castillo. So Marco's been here for like 15, 16 years.
15 years.
Yes. Yeah. He's, been so influential, a lot of people, have enjoyed his work, his composition, and he brought to Winnipeg and Canada in general, a lot of Brazilian culture, music and everything. So I'm really lucky to be part of his work, and it's always great to be with you, playing with you.
My pleasure, Diego. Yeah, I think I don't know if I introduced myself. For who don't know me, my name is Marco Castillo. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and I moved to Canada 15 years ago. I have a bachelor in music and arts from the University Estácio de Sá in Rio de Janeiro. So since my father is a musician from the Trio Iraquitã, so I'm very lucky as well to be raised in a musical family. My mother is also involved with arts. She's a teacher and educator. Even she never worked officially but she graduated as a teacher, and she's a poetry. She likes to write. So I grew up in a music environment. And since I moved to Canada, so I got the opportunity to start my solo career In Brazil, I was a musician already, but I was just like more like a sideman doing. I have my bands and everything, but here I got the opportunities, and then I record my first CD in 2008, Brazilian Season, which was playing in all the college radios for weeks, like hosting the first places. Right after I released the trip to Brazil, which I won the National Award of World Music. It was a trio bass with George Colligan, a pianist from the United States, amazing jazz pianist, and then later on I released my latest full album, Zabelé, and one of the songs that I wrote called Forró no Canadá got me into one of the biggest festivals in South America, in Viña del Mar. I was one of the 6 finalists in this event, and representing Brazil, playing one of my originals, and was amazing. Is a stage that not too many Brazilians have played. It's called Quinta Vergara. It actually has some interesting stories about that. When people don't like the artist, they boo, and then they can't stop them. Luckily, I wasn't booed. Like, they loved my music, and I didn't won the festival, but just being there was an honor for me, and I'm very lucky and glad that to have this opportunity. So, talking in music, our goal today is get you into the Brazilian music, understanding the culture. I think music. We were speaking before a little bit with the guests. Yeah, and so we're talking about how music is the first way to communicate, is a universal language that connects people, even if they don't talk the same language. And I remember before I moved, my English wasn't really good. I mean, it was bad to be honest. But I was like really relying on music. I was thinking, well, I know pretty much all the Tom Jobim repertoire, not all, but I know a lot of Tom Jobim. I know. And so I think I'll be fine. So I was very confident when we moved, and I think I was right. So I'm very lucky again to be a musician. I'm an educator as well, so I have students, and I love teaching. I think education is the base of any society, and the music is one of the best vehicles to get the message, to connect, and it's only benefits in all the ways possible. So Brazil, in order to understand the Brazilian music, we have to really go back in history and understand our roots. And so we all know that Brazil was, I don't like the term discovered, because Brazil was already there, but like was approached by the Portuguese in the 1500s. So Spain and Portugal were the countries, who put their endeavor to America. And Pedro Álvares Cabral arrived in the 1500s in south of Bahia, right? And so the first contact, so the music like that we know as a Brazilian music, it's counted from the latest 1800, and chorinho might be the first style of Brazilian music. But even before that, of course, Brazil was already making music. So if you consider even so pretty much we have 3 big sources of music, which was the First Nations that were, we can't deny the fact that the civilizations like the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas, they were advanced for their time. They were, in astronomy and mathematics and everything. So they have already their society organized. Like Europe, when the Europeans came, they're already, getting to deal with each other. And also the Africans. I think Africa plays like maybe one of the most, well, I won't say the most important, but like America brought 12 millions of Africans and at least 5 million to Brazil. Right. So the last years, and Brazil was the last country to abolish slavery in 1888. So that those facts, they really are important. And also what's most people have no idea is like this Africans, they didn't came only from the West Coast. They also came from the East Coast and even from the north of Africa. And there's documents knowing that from the North Africa, there were literary slaves, like we're talking about Muslims that were reading and writing in Arabic. So that mix of different tribes, you know, in Brazil for years. And again, as Brazil was the last country in the last years, because England declared the finish of it, like they were forcing to stop the slavery in like 50 years before, but Brazil kept bringing. So we kind of kept for more generations coming from different places. So that makes it's crucial to understand how the music evolved in Brazil. If we consider the not only the music but their behavior, like their beliefs, right, in terms of religions. So the word syncretism, I think it plays also is very important to understand. Syncretism is when you two religions, they combine and they start to share, they start to share their, and you know, get along. So that happened in Brazil with the Afro culture, and then so the orishas they brought. So this is you know, I mean, anyways, it's, I can like we can be here talking for exactly. Yeah. This is I actually have to just let you know that I'm offering a workshop in May. So you just go on my website, and I have 2 sessions of 90 minutes talking about all this evolution, how we get where we are. So going back to the choro, choro, we can consider one of the first styles of music in Brazil, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, and also slaves, you know, they brought a lot of like the percussion, you know, to, you know, the Brazilian music, you know. So there is nothing like really ready, you know. So the show was kind of a mix of, you know, European music, you know, the dance, you know, the salon dance, and you know, African, you know, rhythms, you know.
Yeah,
that's how, you know, the show was, you know, born.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, like, you know, before 18, you know, century, we didn't have any undocumented, nothing.
Well,
was
you know,
documented.
I'm doing a lot of research recently about this, and I found that I mean, like of course the Jesuits went like play also a big role, like trying to evangelize the Indians, and the truth is that there were a lot of music that was produced before that, like people that was born in Brazil. Uh, uh, and this music is being discovered recently because they were I forgot the name of the person, but there was a lot of investment, and they were like gathering this music, and this music from the 1700s and on, as a lot of composers, but basically religious music with classical influence. Yeah, we have to point that another factor that I always, you know, because we need to understand the history. So the fact that the crown was transferred to Rio de Janeiro by Don João VI, who was threatened by Napoleon, and so they got scored by the England, you know, to Brazil. So they transferred the crown to Brazil. So Brazil was, for the first time in America, we have a kingdom being managed from America, and that happened for 13 years. I think I have the dates here in 1808. No, that's the show. Where I'm going here. The crown was, oh yeah, exactly, 1808 to 1821. So for 13 years, the crown was in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, and that so that there's a lot of aspects that the opening of the ports, you know, flooded Brazil. Like Rio was like the place where all the goods were coming from Europe, including music instruments, pianos. So the piano played a role in the Brazilian music. It's just unbelievable how, at the point that in 1859, Rio was called the city of pianos, because there was pianos everywhere. Everybody was playing piano, and then so the choro was actually a way that a kind of interpretation of the music that were played at the time. Like a lot of we have the influence of polkas, the German polkas, and the lundu, the dances from Africa, and the modinha, right, the troubadours, like from Portugal. So that makes, So the polkas start to be playing a little bit different, like in terms of rhythm, because of the Africans. And for a matter of fact, if you observe like the icons in Chorinho, so we have, we can call the father of Chorinho, João da Silva Calado, and the mother of Chorinho, Francisca Edviges Neves Gonzaga, Chiquinha Gonzaga. Chiquinha Gonzaga, her story of life, all of them, actually we go Chiquinha Gonzaga, Pixinguinha. So if you notice, they are mestizos, they are black people, and they were the ones who you know, change the way to play, and they create what we call now Chorinho, right? And so we're talking too much, I guess. So we should play one song. Sure. Yeah. So we're going to play here one song for you, and I believe we have a lot of Brazilians watching us, so you are more than welcome to sing along with us, because I'm pretty sure you know this song if you are from Brazil.
Meu coração, não sei porquê, bate feliz quando te vê, e os meus olhos ficam sorrindo, e pelas ruas vão te seguindo, mas mesmo assim foges de mim. Meu coração, não sei porquê, bate feliz quando te vê, e os meus olhos ficam sorrindo, e pelas ruas vão te seguindo, mas mesmo assim foges de mim. Ah, se tu soubesses como eu sou tão carinhoso e muito, muito que te quero, e como é sincero meu amor, eu sei que tu não fugirias mais de mim. Vem, 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 vem sentir o calor dos lábios meus à procura dos teus. Vem matar esta paixão que me devora o coração, e só assim então serei feliz, bem feliz. Soubesses como eu sou tão carinhoso e muito, muito que te quero, e como é sincero meu amor, eu sei que tu não fugirias mais de mim. Vem, 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 vem sentir o calor dos lábios meus à procura dos teus. Vem matar esta paixão que me devora o coração, e só assim então serei feliz, bem feliz, meu coração.
Oh wow, yeah. This is such a wonderful song. I mean, it's Pixinguinha. Pixinguinha, another amazing composer and with a wonderful history life. He went to Paris with his group Os Batutas, and this is, I have dates here. 18, yeah, he was born in 1897. Yeah, so he went to Europe in 1922, and apparently to stay for 1 month or two, and they loved them in there, and they ended up being there for 6 months, I guess. And you know, and if you watch carefully, like, and that's interesting because when there's for matter of fact, when he composed Carinhoso, he was very criticized because they say that was like a very jazzy, and they didn't like it. So you know, it's music is you know, when we talk about music and the creation of genres and everything, there's no it's not like you start in something, oh, it started in here and finished there. You know, it's like a river, right? Like flowing, and it's like things starts and then move around and then get some, so and then you start identifying characteristics in the song. Well, I think you should talk really a bit about the show, the technical, the
yeah, it's really hard like to point, like say, hey, this is this song that was created, and so that's where Shoro was born. You can't say that because like
yeah,
evolution is something here,
yeah,
and that, but
yeah,
for sure he's the main guy. And like what was happening in Brazil and parallel was happening in the United States.
yeah, yeah, and
Like,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
and you mentioned that a lot of people thought he composed this and was kind of jazz influence,
yeah,
and people used to call him like the bebop guy,
yeah,
and I think it's a compliment because bebop is
absolutely,
really hard,
absolutely, yeah,
jazz style,
Coltrane
really, yeah,
or Charlie
fast.
Parker, yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly, or genius,
And like if you wanna play, Brazilian music, you have to play like short because it's really
absolutely, yeah, yeah.
virtuoso.
Shoro is a one of this. It's, you'll be amazed of how many people, how many groups all over the world embrace the Shoro. And the Shoro has like it's like technically speaking has like some specific characteristics. Like is a kind of a rondo form, like A B A, and then go for a C. Usually like the relative dominant or like. And it's a loss of improvisation, like one of the characteristics of shoro, like the shoro. So this is a shoro, is a kind of it's considered a shoro. Some people were calling like a polka but it's a shoro. But like we have the shoro more like
slow tempo short.
yeah, yeah. You should play just a little bit of the Odeon. I don't even get ready, but we can just like or oh yeah, that's yeah. That's 100, right? 10.
It's like
Yeah.
short, really fast.
Yeah.
Really hard to play.
Yeah. And what is interesting is like this form of it came from the polka, right? Like and like if you hear and but just start to get that swing, and like that's a groove, right? And that's one of the characteristics of choro. Yeah, so Pixinguinha put together this Os Batutas with Donga, João Pernambuco, and then in the 30s he was hired by the RCA record, like to be the arranger. Yeah, so going after that we have the Era do Rádio, right? And it's interesting, like when you observe that technology, it plays also a role. Like you feel like the difference between at that time, like the radio was the big communication way, and so that's why they get this Era do Rádio, which brought like so many wonderful singers, and the singers usually they were like singing with their whole lung, because they were singing in one microphone, like they have the orchestra behind and the audience, right? And we have several names that I would like to mention here: the Orlando Silva, Francisco Alves, né? Nelson Gonçalves, Silvio Caldas, Emilinha Borba, Marlene. I was just talking early that I met Marlene. My dad brought me there. Dad, if you're watching us, love you so much. I remember you brought me there at Marlene's house. And Dalva de Oliveira, Isaurinha Garcia, and Angela Maria. Actually, Angela Maria recorded 2 or 3 songs of my dad. He recorded 3 of my dad's originals, and she an amazing singer as well. So the Era do Rádio was kind of, chronologically speaking, as well, we have the choro as a start, and we have the Era do Rádio, which we have all those singers singing a lot of sambas, right? Like the samba was born at the time together, evolution of the marchinhas, right? Like the marches, right? Like so basically, so we get to the bossa nova. Yeah. So I think we go straight to the bossa nova, because I have to track time here, as I'm like, I know that we can just like go out of time anyways. But the bossa nova, it's interesting because now we are talking about technology bringing microphones and better microphones so they start all like João Gilberto, came with that style of singing, like just like very, close and quiet and everything. And the style of music that the guitar he was playing was like just, floating, like the harmony and the melody, just, like there was not that, there was like super loose, right? Like, I don't know, like, it's like, as you go like,
vou te contar, os olhos já não podem ver coisas que só o coração pode entender. Fundamental é mesmo amor, é impossível ser feliz sozinho.
So that's kind of malemolência. I don't know the word in English to express that, but that, kind of float is like the sea, right? Like, so we would like to play a song here to picture the bossa nova, and it's a song that I like the song so much, and you probably know the song. So I'm not going to announce the song for you. You have to guess.
Se a juventude que essa brisa canta ficasse aqui comigo mais um pouco, eu poderia esquecer a dor de ser tão só pra ser um sonho. E aí então, quem sabe alguém chegasse buscando um sonho em forma de desejo. Felicidade então pra nós seria. E depois que a tarde nos trouxesse a lua, se o amor chegasse, eu não resistiria. E a madrugada acalentaria nossa paz. Fica, ó brisa, fica, pois talvez, quem sabe, o inesperado faça uma surpresa e traga alguém que queira lhe escutar e junto a mim queira ficar. E depois que a tarde nos trouxesse a lua, se o amor chegasse, eu não resistiria. E a madrugada acalentaria nossa paz. Fica, oh brisa, fica, pois talvez, quem sabe, o inesperado faça uma surpresa e traga alguém que queira lhe escutar e junto a mim queira ficar, bem junto a mim queira ficar, bem junto a mim queira ficar.
Wonderful, Diego. Thank you. Yeah, this is Eu e a Brisa by Johnny Alf.
Actually, John Alf is not his real name, right? Because so the jazz influenced so much in his like composition that they okay, I have to give you a nickname, like an American name because you sound like
Yeah,
an
was
American.
actually one of his colleagues from high school. So his name was Alfredo José da Silva. But what is interesting about Johnny Alf that when you talk about bossa nova, of course we relate in North America. They relate with Stan Getz, which of course was amazing that he brought to the United States to the Tom Jobim and João Gilberto to play, to perform. But and that was in the 60s. However, Johnny Alf, in the 50s, he already have the concept of bossa nova. There's a song, there's a recording, I believe 53, Rapaz de Bem, and it's like totally the bossa nova ready to go. And so he's actually considered, I mean, again, if you go for the people who create, right? Like he was very like ahead of his time, and the harmony and everything that he was using. And then, he can be considered the father of bossa nova, Johnny Alf, even if he didn't get too many credits. I mean, like there's a lot of controversy. People are like, of course, they know better of Tom Jobim and Vinicius, of course, because they brought a lot of music. And The Girl from Ipanema, of course, like it became one of the most recorded songs in the world and the most played, right?
Yeah, it's really, like I said before, it's really hard to point and say, which song, is the the bossa nova. It's really hard. Even like Rapaz de Bem, composed by John Alf, it's kind of it's a mix of you can listen as a samba and you can
Yeah,
listen as a
yeah,
bossa nova. By
yeah,
the way, the bossa nova was like you know a lot of musicians they were tired of the samba. They want to do something different, and
yeah,
that's how the bossa nova
yeah.
was born.
Yeah, the difference of the bossa nova, I think the one of the things that we can point is like exactly that more modern harmony, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that was being like elaborated, like, and it has a lot to do with the jazz. I mean, that's one of the connections and the way to play, right? Like João Gilberto, I think actually João Gilberto passed away in 2019. João Gilberto Juazeiro was born in Juazeiro, Bahia. João Gilberto, he is the responsible for that bossa nova played on the guitar, like the way it was like
The groove.
yeah. And there's an interesting story about him that one of his when he recorded, I think was one of his first albums, and they have those meetings of vendors like in Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, and somebody like one of the guys got they used to get the recordings from all over the country, like, and they send this from Bahia, and the guy like was just like, look at what they sent from Bahia, this horrible, and then he broke the record, and was like João Gilberto, right? It's like, and it's really amazing how when people start when the music start because that's one of the things in music that is interesting in arts in general, because arts and music are make is where you condense the knowledge, the way of thinking, the criticism, is made to make is made it to make you think on things, right?
Yeah.
And the challenge, right, like comes from there, like,
and like everything that's different, from the moment, and everything that sound different. It's like, you are crazy. No way. Why you do
yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's like nothing to do. It's like 21st century song, like music, like people like just random, but there are a whole bunch of people that follow this, kind
Yeah.
of music,
Yeah,
It
exactly.
just sounds like
Oh.
just bunch of.
Yeah. Well,
know
that's
what I
one of the beauties of arts and music, right? Like, I mean, and I think it's a natural from the human being. Like, you kind of want to be on your safe zone, and then when you hear something different, just like, oh, but we have to be open. Like music, we have to be open to listen new things and get that information and process, and get a chance, right? Like, I think that's very important.
And one more, just one, I'd like to add one more thing that, like a lot was happening in short time. Like if you think about music history for the last 1500, thousand years, like, so little happened. And then like in 19, like last, century,
Yeah.
so a lot happened. Like it's
Yeah.
really hard to keep track of what's going on. Even
Exactly.
in Brazilian music, the same. A
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
things was.
yeah. No, it's unbelievable. If you go deep, I'm doing this research now, like over the Brazilian music, and it's like as most as you dig, there's more things appearing. It's just like unbelievable how. And one thing that I forgot to mention that we have to consider for like the understanding also of the music is the circle dance. I like that because the lundu is a
Oh, yeah,
dance,
Lundu.
right? So and it's a community thing, and that's how the you start matching, we start connecting the civilizations, right, through their beliefs and their yeah, their gatherings, like this kind of
Convictions,
yeah.
ideas,
Yeah, and we talk about, when you talk about samba, it's the same thing. We have so many different kinds of samba, right? We have samba canção, we have samba funky, we have samba rock, for Jorge Ben, and we have one specific that we are going to play, or we're going to just a little bit to picture, which was like samba exaltação, right? And we are thinking to play this Aquarela do Brasil, because I think it's one of hymns of Brazil, by Ari Barroso. And let's see what we get here.
Brasil, meu Brasil brasileiro, meu mulato isoneiro, vou cantar-te nos meus versos. O Brasil, samba que dá bamboleio, que faz gingar. O Brasil do meu amor, terra de nosso Senhor. Brasil, pra mim, pra mim. Abre a cortina do passado, tira a mãe preta do cerrado, bota o rei Congo no congado. Brasil, pra mim. Deixa cantar o trovador, a merencore, a luz da lua, toda a canção do meu amor. Quero ver essa dona caminhando pelos salões, arrastando o seu vestido rendado. Brasil, pra mim, pra mim. Brasil, terra boa e gostosa, da morena cestrosa, de olhar indiferente. O Brasil, samba que dá bamboleio, que faz gingar. O Brasil do meu amor, terra de nosso Senhor. Brasil, pra mim, pra mim. Brasil.
Beautiful. Ari Barroso, Aquarela do Brasil. I'm trying to get in track here. So at this point, I mean, like, we can keep talking. There's lots to talk, but we can perhaps open for, if you want to hear in a specific song, you know, we'll be pleased to play for you, because that's why we are here for. I mean, like, talk about music, about the Brazilian culture and music, especially. So I don't know if there's any require. Oh, okay, so I have to put my phone back. So
question, you know, request
Yeah.
a question.
Any requirement? Any request?
Marco and Diego, wonderful, wonderful. I've been getting some requests, and
Okay.
one of them is Tarde em Itapuã.
Okay. Yes. I have to just that'll be kind of a treat for us. Yeah. Like F. Yeah.
Velho calção de banho, o dia pra vadiar, o mar que não tem tamanho, um arco-íris no ar, depois da praça cair. Senti preguiça no corpo e numa esteira de vime, beberam uma água de coco, é bom passar uma tarde Itapuã, ao sol que arde Itapuã, ouvindo o mar de Itapuã, falar de amor Itapuã, passar uma tarde Itapuã, ao sol que arde Itapuã, ouvindo o mar de Itapuã, falar de amor Itapuã. Enquanto o mar inaugura um verde novinho em folha, argumentar com doçura uma cachaça de rolha e com olhar esquecido o encontro de céu e mar, bem devagar e sentindo a terra toda rodar. É bom passar uma tarde Itapuã, ao sol que arde Itapuã, ouvindo o mar de Itapuã, falar de amor Itapuã, passar uma tarde Itapuã. Depois sentir o arrepio do vento que a noite traz e o diz que macio que brota nos coqueirais e nos espaços serenos, sem ontem nem amanhã, dormir nos braços morenos da lua de Itapuã. É bom passar uma tarde Itapuã, ao sol que arde Itapuã, ouvindo o mar de Itapuã, falar de amor Itapuã, passar uma tarde Itapuã, ao sol que arde Itapuã, ouvindo o mar de Itapuã, falar de amor Itapuã.
Well, thank you for requesting this song. I haven't singing this song for a while, but it's always a challenge. It's always a challenge. We like challenge. Yeah, since I'm here, I wrote a song. What was one of the first songs I wrote here? It's called Brazilian Season, and it's the title track of the album. And I wrote another bossa nova called Tão Zen that I would like to play for you.
Eu tô tão zen, sem vergonha. Eu tô tão zen, sem vergonha, culpa. Que pecado, sabe do dedo do seu lado. Eu tô tão zen, sem vergonha. Eu tô sem vergonha, culpa. Que pecado do seu lado. Pecado é juiz que eu nem preciso pra ser feliz, pois eu herdei o livre-arbítrio e a palavra é a lei. Não tema nem negue, Deus segue, faz de conta e encontra o seu caminho, seu ninho, pois meu ninho é você. Então me queira, e se não quiser, então desista. Insista, insista, em ser feliz, porque eu tô bem, eu tô tão zen.
Yeah. It is. It is. Well, that was my strength when I came. You know, like I have this, you know, my head full of music, and that was, yeah. It's funny because I wrote this song and I started not liking the lyrics anymore, and then I recorded again on the Zabele, just the instrumental version, and but now I kind of getting the lyrics again and start enjoying again. It's like it's an artist thing. It's just like, you know, like very picky. Oh, there's no. But yeah. So any other requests, you guys? Any questions? What time you open for the questions? Because
I believe.
I need to. Sorry,
Marco, as I was singing along, I totally forgot to introduce myself. So just to say that my name is Vanessa Stein. I am the Honorary Vice Consul of Brazil in Manitoba. And together with Gustavo, we provide services to Brazilians. This way they don't need to travel to Toronto. So music for sure is an international language. And I got here some more requests for you.
I'm afraid now.
Yes. So somebody asked for Samba de uma Nota Só, which is, I believe, João Gilberto.
Samba de Nota Só, yeah. Go for a B flat.
Eis aqui este sambinha feito numa nota só. Outras notas vão entrar, mas a base é uma só. Essa outra é consequência do que acabo de dizer. Eu sou a consequência inevitável de você. Quanta gente existe por aí que fala, fala e não diz nada ou quase nada. Já menti e sempre toda forma, no final não sobrou nada. Não teve nada e voltei pra minha nota. Como eu volto pra você, vou contar com a minha nota. Como eu volto pra você. E quem quer todas as notas, Ré, Mi, Fá, Sol, Lá, Si, Dó, fica sempre sem nenhuma, fique numa nota só.
Oh, wonderful. I'm thank you for requesting that. I was just like, it's a challenge, just like, oh, somebody nota só. Yeah, what a wonderful legacy we have in our music. Can I tell you a little story here? As I'm an educator, and so I'm digging really deep into chorinho recently, and there's I have a lot of Asian students, and one in particular, I showed it the other day, Noites Cariocas, and he was like fascinated, and then so I showed him the song, and I got the chart. I put the chart in front of him. He's like a grade 2 on guitar. I'm teaching him. I got him like playing like just he knew nothing. He played the first page of Noites Cariocas, and I was just like, okay. So it's very impressive how kids they are like sponges. They absorb music so fast, and I'm very excited with with the teaching process and getting those students interested in the Brazilian music in chorinho specifically. And yeah, so any other requests?
Somebody asked if you could play the song that, in your opinion, better represents that time, like either bossa nova or choro, in your opinion, your favorite,
Which song represents the past?
It's hard to say because I mean, like there's one song I don't want to be unfair with the other 20 that I'm thinking right now. There's so many beautiful songs. Well, Girl from Ipanema was one of the most recorded, and is a beautiful song. But I have a lot of when I was growing up, my dad used to listen a lot of different groups, and Os Cariocas was a vocal group that like they at that time they also recorded so many beautiful songs. And there's one in particular they recorded called Samba da Pergunta, which is a beautiful, but I don't think I'm going to play this one. I'm thinking, what do you think in terms of bossa nova?
Like jazz influence.
Influence of the jazz.
I think it's the more. It's like.
Yeah, like to represent. Do you think there's any other option? Do you think like that kind of identify the bossa nova as a
Out of tune, desafinado.
Yeah, desafinado.
Because actually was a criticism from American people, say that the bossa nova was, well, it's really strange, out of tune. You know?
Yeah.
And Jobim's joke, okay, I get this for you. And
Yeah.
he started like, on purpose, like doing.
Yeah, desafinado, out of tune, and I think it's a good one. I think that represents very well the bossa nova. I mean, like it's one of the 20, right? Yeah, so it's like
Se você disser que eu desafino amor, saiba que isso em mim provoca imensa dor. Só privilegiados têm ouvido igual ao seu. Eu possuo apenas o que Deus me deu. Se você insiste em classificar meu comportamento diante musical, eu, mesmo mentindo, devo argumentar que isto é uma bossa nova, isso é muito natural. Que você não sabe nem sequer pressente que os desafinados também têm um coração. Fotografei você na minha Rolleiflex, revelou-se a sua enorme ingratidão. só não poderá falar assim do meu amor. Ele é o maior que você pode encontrar, viu? Você com a sua música esqueceu o principal, que no peito do desafinado, no fundo do peito bate calado, que no peito do desafinado também bate um coração, bate um coração, bate, bate, bate um coração.
Yeah, for those who never like, look at the lyrics, man, it's incredible. Like Tom Jobim.
Yeah, there's I have the English version here in front of me, but I just in Portuguese it's just there, right? Yo, thank you for the request. I'm loving this. I think we should do it every week because it's fun. I mean, it's been fun. Yeah, so we're trying to cover at least just a little slice of the Brazilian music. We focus on Rio de Janeiro, like chorinho, samba, samba canção, samba exaltação, but the bossa nova. We have baião. Yeah, in the north, we have maracatu and frevo and on and on. We can just like spend like the whole night until tomorrow talking about our music, which is immensely. It's like but I think we should play at least one baião. The baião is I actually wrote a song called Quem é Baião, because I was curious about the name, and I found out that there was a warrior that fought the Moors in this. We're talking about the 1900s, and there's a region in Portugal called Baião, but the rhythm, of course, it has the name at least is from Portugal, but the rhythm of Baião is really beautiful. And I choose a song by Edu Lobo, Icapinã, a wonderful song, was a winner on the festival of songs in '67. And I would like to play for you.
It's interesting, about this song because it was composed by Abdul Lobo, which is a composer from Rio de Janeiro, right? And then we're talking about like a style that is from northeast of Brazil, far away, but it's interesting. Like so we have in Rio de Janeiro different styles, northeast with baião, frevo, maracatu.
Yeah.
When you look at that, you think like Brazil is like just little countries.
No, it's
regions,
very impressive.
So
South
rich.
of Brazil, the music from Minas Gerais also is amazing, and so yeah, let's play this. This is like
Era um, era dois, era 100, era o mundo chegando e ninguém que soubesse que eu sou violeiro, que me desse um amor ou dinheiro. Era um, era dois, era 100, vieram pra me perguntar, ou você de onde vai, de onde vem, diga logo o que tem pra contar. Parado no meio do mundo, senti chegar seu momento, olhei para o mundo e nem via nem chuva, nem sol e nem vento. quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Ponteio, quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Ponteio, quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar, pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Ponteio, quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Ponteio, quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Ponteio, quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar, pra cantar, pra cantar. Quem quiser aprender é melhor prestar atenção. Quando é só me dizer, eu vou dançar o baião.
Beautiful, Diego. Thank you. Yeah, good reminder. Eu vou mostrar para vocês. That key is not my key, but eu vou mostrar para vocês como se dança o baião. My dad is from the Ceará, and you know I love the North. I love the culture of Brazil. All regions are amazing. The Northeast is just amazing. It's so much music. Lampião. So many characters. Actually, on Wednesday, were beautiful work by Luana Cunha about Adriano Suassuna. So much culture. Yeah. Any other request or questions?
Okay, I have another request here, asking for Adoniran Barbosa, Trem das 11.
Você toca, eu canto. Eu tenho. Paz, 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 paz. Vai ficar de. Não posso. Atento.
Não posso ficar mais nem um minuto com você. Sinto muito amor, mas não pode ser. Moro em Jaçanã. Se eu perder esse trem que sai agora às 11 horas, só amanhã de manhã. De novo. Não posso ficar nem mais um minuto com você. Sinto muito amor, mas não pode ser. Moro em Jaçanã. Se eu perder esse trem que sai agora às 11 horas, só amanhã de manhã. E além disso, mulher, tem outra coisa. Minha mãe não dorme enquanto eu não chegar. Sou filho único, tenho minha casa pra morar. Não posso ficar nem mais um minuto com você. Sinto muito amor, mas não pode ser. Moro em Jaçanã. Se eu perder esse trem que sai agora às 11 horas, só amanhã de manhã. E além disso, mulher, Major know das coisas. Minha mãe não dorme enquanto eu não chegar. Sou filho único, tenho minha casa pra morar. Pom, 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 pom. Quais, faz cadigudum, faz cadigudum, faz cadigudum.
Sorry for throwing
you off.
No, that's all right. That's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's been like I don't know,
like
3 to 5
like
years.
200 years that I haven't played this song. I'm sorry, but,
so we tried.
But it's a wonderful to Adoniran Barbosa. That reminds me, samba de break is another vertente of the Brazilian sambas. Yeah, any other requests? We're open. We're in trouble here. Once in trouble, no problem. Just bring it on. But we can.
Okay, another one.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking you to sing a song that, as you said before, your father was part of a group.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sing a song that your father used to sing.
Wow, so many beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see here. I hope he's online watching, but I don't know. So let's say I'm in trouble now. I have to sing a song, but let's see here. There's many beautiful. Let's see, get something. Through my dad, I hear so much music. I got introduced Edu Lobo. My dad used to hear a lot of Edu Lobo, Chico Buarque, and of course a lot of boleros. Maybe we can sing El Reloj, which is it's kind of a C. It's like turn around and see. Reloj, no marque las horas, porque voy a enloquecer. Ella se irá para siempre cuando amanezca otra vez. No más nos queda esta noche para vivir nuestro amor. Tu tic-tac me recuerda mi irremediable dolor. Reloj, detén tu camino, porque mi vida se apaga. Ella es la estrella que alumbra mi ser. Yo sin tu amor no soy nada. Detén el tiempo en tus manos. Haz esta noche perpetua para que nunca te vayas de mí, para que nunca amanezca, para que nunca te vayas de mí, para que nunca amanezca. Yeah, my dad, he's amazing. I love you, Dad. I hope you're watching us. Te amo, pai. Espero que você esteja assistindo a gente. And I'm very glad. Yeah, boleros are the style of the trio Iraquitã, and samba, lots of sambas and samba canção.
I learned so many songs through my dad, like from the Trio Iraquitã. Yeah, so many. I mean, like boleros is one of the styles that they used to sing. They sang. Let's see here. Do we have anything else? Unless you have another request, but I can keep singing boleros again until like through the night until tomorrow. But maybe you give a chance for another style, or just bring it on, please, if you have time.
Okay. Luis Gonzaga.
Oh, Luis Gonzaga, yeah, we can do.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. So Luis Gonzaga.
Quando olhei a terra ardendo, qual fogueira de São João, eu perguntei a Deus do céu, ai, por que tamanha judiação? Eu perguntei a Deus do céu, ai, por que tamanha judiação? Que braseira, que fornalha, e nenhum pé de plantação. Por causa perdi meu gado, morreu de sede meu alazão.
Yeah. Oh, coisa boa. That's, yeah. Bring it more. We can sing another one. I mean.
Muito obrigado, maestro. Seu trabalho é ótimo, maravilhoso. Muito obrigado. Então agora, primeiramente, para Vanice, minha paisana, Honorary Vice Consul, ótimo trabalho, Vanice. Parabéns para você que vão à coordenação. Thank you, Vanice Stein, our Honorary Vice Consul, for a phenomenal job coordinating the requests and being in between artists and the knowledge of the Brazilian music. I'm going to ask you to perform your very last song at your leisure so that I can proceed with the closing of the program. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Gustavo. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. It was a pleasure for me. Thank you, Diego. And then, yeah, we're going to play one more song, and I hope you guys stay safe at home. And then, yeah, anytime we can play music. That's our life. That's my life. And then please. So let's play.
So just for everybody in attendance, as soon as we hear the last song, please stick around for another minute, because I want to make sure that there is one more person that I want to introduce you, and then the very final song.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça, é ela, a menina que vem e que passa num doce balanço, caminho do mar. Moça do corpo dourado sol de Ipanema, o seu balançado é mais que um poema, é a coisa mais linda que eu já vi passar. Ah, como estou tão sozinho. Ah, porque tudo é tão triste. Ah, e a beleza que existe, a beleza que não é só minha, que também passa sozinha. Se ela soubesse que quando ela passa, o mundo sorrindo se enche de graça e fica mais lindo por causa do amor. Do amor, por causa do amor, por causa do amor.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much, maestros. We will be coming back by popular demand with one more final melody or song in just a moment. At this time, I would like to introduce Consul General Wanja Nobrega, the Consul General of Brazil to Toronto, who is responsible for this Manitoba jurisdiction. Please, cameras and microphone for Wanja.
Hi, Gustavo. This was amazing. It was a glorious evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity to hear to so many amazing songs. It's thank you very much, Marcos, and just I have some problem here in my computer, but I think you are seeing me well, right? Anyway,
yes.
Thank you so much, Gustavo and Vanice and all your team for this amazing music event, and thank you, Marcos and Diego, for a glorious, glorious evening. It was beyond my expectation. As everybody knows, Gustavo Zentner is the Brazilian Honorary Consul in Manitoba, and his primary mandate is to promote foreign direct investment, trade, and business between our countries. But he's doing something beyond that and promoting our culture through literature, through music. And we would like to thank you very much for that. I'd like to thank the government of Manitoba for supporting these events. And we are very, very grateful for the government of Manitoba. Ambassador Pedro, Borio, and myself, we are looking forward to visit you, Gustavo, as soon as possible. You know that we have an open invitation from you, and then the first opportunity we would like to go and to promote even more our relationship. Well, having said that, I would like again to thank and to congratulate Marcos and Diego for the selection, and also the participants who request some melodies and songs that goes deeply in our heart, and I think in everybody. Music, as it was said, has no barrier, has no frontier, and I believe that's no place in the world that the Brazilian music hasn't reached yet. And Ambassador Pedro Borio was telling us before, some minutes ago, that the Garota de Ipanema is, or the Girl of Ipanema, as is internationally known, is the second most recorded music in the whole world, and only after White Christmas. And I didn't know that, but this is amazing. And thank you, Ambassador Borio, for telling us this. It's really is very impressive, and shows how the Brazilian music went everywhere. Actually, I believe that Aquarela do Brasil, also known just as Brazil, and the Girl of Ipanema are the most played songs of Brazil everywhere. There's no place that we cannot hear that. And I was hearing the Aquarela of Brazil, and we're thinking about, there is a movie, and the title of the movie is Brazil. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yes.
If you hadn't, yes, and is directed by Terry Gilliam and with Robert De Niro, among others. And the movie is very peculiar, and there is nothing to do with Brazil, nothing at all, but only the music that's played at the beginning is Garota de Ipanema. And once I read an interview with the director, Gillian, and he was asked why the title of the movie is Brazil. And then he said that he didn't have a title for it, but he loved the music so much that he decided to put at the beginning the name of the movie of Brazil. So this shows how the music was even more important than the film itself. So it's just an example that says that music goes beyond any barrier. And again, during this challenging time that we are facing during the pandemic, I believe the music was one of the most important cultural expression that we have seen it since the beginning throughout the world, through the people singing and playing at the window on verandas with neighbors that maybe they had never talked with before, but through the music they connected and they shared their feelings, and I think helped us a lot to go through this time. And again, this event this evening, I believe that show us that we are connected and we could have a wonderful evening. We are not in a bar, we are not in a pub, we are not visiting our friends and families, but still we are connecting through the music. So thank you again very much. Having said that, I'd like to say some words specifically for the Brazilian community in Manitoba. And I am the Consul General of Brazil in Ontario, Manitoba, and Nunavut. And again, I just said that I would like to go to Winnipeg as soon as possible. And I want to reassure all the Brazilians here in this jurisdiction that the Brazilian consulate in Toronto is open. We had never closed. We are here for you. We are working very hard to go through all the demands on consular service. We have an amazing team of vice consuls and consular offices, and in order to attend all the demands of our community. So don't hesitate to contact us through emails, and also would like to highlight that this month we started the e-consulate, e-consulate, and which means that you can request anything now through your smartphone from your computer. We are trying to implement this all over because it will help a lot our community to get their documents faster and in an easier way. So, muito obrigada a todos. Bonsoir, bonne nuit. Have a wonderful evening, and I believe that everybody will dream a little bit about samba or choro And actually, I'm very glad, Marcos and Diego, that you brought chorinho, because it's one of the most sophisticated type of music that we have in Brazil. It's not well known outside, but it's amazing how beautiful and how deep they are from the roots. You mentioned that it comes from Portugal, and again, it's very, very old, back to old times. And Ponteio, for me, is one of the most sophisticated music that we have ever had in Brazil. So again and again and again, thank you very much. Muito obrigada e boa noite.
Muito obrigado, muito obrigado, Wanja. I'd like everybody to know that specifically last year during the pandemic, in direct communication with Ambassador Pedro Borio and the team in Ottawa, as well as with Consul General Wanja Nobrega, we were able to hear many stories of Canadians that were stranded in Brazil and needed assistance to come back to Canada, many Brazilians that had gone back to Brazil to spend time with their families and needed some support. And I was very pleased on behalf of the Honorary Consulate to work with those families and with the Embassy and the Consulate General to support. Today, the focus was on music and culture, and you, Marco, and you, Diego, have made it possible. This was an amazing evening. We are so thankful for everything you've done. Now the focus and the spotlight back on you. Please, your last song, as you wish us farewell for the evening. And as soon as you're done, we will be disconnecting. Thanks, everybody. We love seeing you all tonight. Marco, Diego, over to you.
Thank you so much, Gustavo. Thank you, Wanja, for the wonderful words. And I would like to thank everybody that's here. I was just browsing in between. I saw my dad is online, my mom is online. I love you so much. Mãe, pai, amo vocês demais. Devo tudo a vocês. E thank you so much for everything. So I'm going to play a song by Chico Buarque. Chico Buarque is an amazing composer that I admire so much. And then again, I owe to my dad to have introduced me. I remember the day that my dad came with the album Construção. And I remember we listened like, you know, over and over and all the tracks. It's a wonderful album. And I was like 7 years old, I guess. And so I'm very grateful to my dad for all. My dad is an amazing composer, amazing. He have been writing a lot of chorinhos recently. So we're going to play this song called Ahita. It's a beat samba, so close the night with, you know, uplifting music. So thank you again so much for being here. Please visit my website to get to know about the workshop that I'm doing in May. All the information is on my website, marcocastillo.ca. Thank you so much. Thank you, Diego. So let's play Ahita.
A Rita levou meu sorriso, o sorriso dela, meu assunto. Levou junto com ela o que me é de direito, arrancou-me do peito e tem mais. Levou seu retrato, seu trapo, seu prato, que papel. Uma imagem de São Francisco e um bom disco de Noel. A Rita matou nosso amor de vingança, nem herança deixou. Levou um tostão porque não tinha não, mas causou perdas e danos. Levou os meus planos, meus pobres enganos, os meus 20 anos e o meu coração. E além de tudo, me deixou mudo violão. levou meu sorriso, no sorriso dela meu assunto. Levou junto com ela o que me é de direito, arrancou-me do peito e tem mais. Levou seu retrato, seu prato, seu trapo, que papel, uma imagem de São Francisco e um bom disco de Noel. A Rita matou nosso amor de vingança, nem herança deixou. Levou um tostão porque não tinha não, mas causou perdas e danos. Levou os meus planos, meus pobres enganos, meus 20 anos e o meu coração. E além de tudo, me deixou mudo o violão.